Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Woman's Wisdom. Woman's Wisdom is brought to you by your host, me, Nicole Cartney, and through this series, you'll hear from some incredible women who are living their ultimate life. Today, I'm going to be speaking with a beautiful soul sister who's doing some incredible work in the world. We're going to take you behind the scenes of her life, her story, and uncover some really awesome wisdom that you can implement into your life today. So get ready because we do have some juiciness to reveal. So without further ado, let me introduce you, Yerlin Ramirez, who lives in Costa Rica right now, and she has such an incredible story that I want to share with you. She has been through some trials and tribulations, and today I'm going to allow her to give us the insight of what she's been able to create in her journey. So welcome, Yerlin. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. And first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And thank you to everybody that is taking the time to listen to this and to receive with an open heart whatever I can serve today, and that you may listen from me and implement in your life, or just like whatever, have these pearls of wisdom and really be able to have service to your person and to your soul from whatever you are able to grab from this interaction today.
Amazing. So you're in Costa Rica right now, is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Costa Rica, so I think that I'm really lucky to be in Costa Rica, and not just that, but to be in a beautiful mountain. I live in the top of a mountain surrounded by rivers and waterfalls and fairies and mermaids and so much beauty and magic and sunsets and shooting stars and stars at nighttime. It's really, really beautiful. It's like a paradise. I wake up every day so inspired to be where I am. Yeah.
Beautiful. And so I really wanted to bring you into this podcast episode because, we met I think it was in LA last year. I can't even remember. Time has walked right now. But your story is just incredible. And I really want people to hear more about your story. But not only that, what you did to come through on the other side. Because right now your life is completely different. You're now married to the love of your life. You've created such an incredible business. You're helping so many people rewire their brain. So tell us, Yerlin, what happened for you back in, I know about what happened, but I'd love the listeners to hear about what happened for you a few years back.
Yeah, as you're saying, like my life is very different today, and that was like a turning point for me. Like I really feel my life the before and after all of that happened, and and it was really like a big training for me, a big challenges and a big training that took me to a whole different life today. And what happened at that point is I was starting to teach and to do my certifications and things. I was moving to South Africa. I was engaged to a guy from South Africa, and I have already my house ready in there. I have all my suitcases in there, a bunch of them. And I was pregnant. I was 3 months pregnant. I'm just very happy to start life in South Africa and there. And then 10 days before I moved there to marry my fiance and start that new life in South Africa, all the way, leaving Costa Rica behind with everything and taking my 2 daughters that I already have. I had a really bad accident when I fell from the height of a 4th floor. So this is like falling, it's like, it's like really like a miracle. Like no one really makes it alive out of a 4th floor, but I fell from 4th floor into a cliff. And this is, when I fell into this cliff, I hit a solid cement pool, an empty cement pool. So I hit the cement and I broke my whole spine, and I broke my leg in pieces and shattered my leg in pieces. And I woke up the next day, with all these bright lights and the hospitals, with the news that I will never be able to walk and that they needed to cut my leg because of the damage that was created. So yeah, this was very, very challenging for me at the time. Then they found a surgeon to reconstruct my leg in titanium, and then they found another one. They said there's an opportunity for you to walk again. There's like 80% of possibilities of dying, but if you make it, you make it. And I did. Then they reconstructed my spine in titanium. So I'm basically all rebuilt in titanium. I'm like Wolverine, but in a woman. And then, That was really, really hard for me. Like, honestly, like I can laugh at today and I can feel
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, like just like a thing. But the truth is at that moment, I was miserable. It was really, really hard for me. And when I woke up from the surgery, my guy, like my fiance said, like, this relationship is not good to me anymore. And
Wow.
we need to break up. And so he left me right there. You know, we had just lost our unborn child. Like I have just broken my body in pieces. I was broken in pieces. I was like nothing. I was paralyzed in a bed, and he left me right there. And that was really, really painful for me. I remember like screaming and giving like screams of pain. And yeah, it was just that I felt, and also because I was moving to South Africa, I had canceled my insurance, so I was left in $200,000 in debt, and I had two kids to care for. So I felt that I was like spiritually broken, financially broken. I was at that moment emotionally broken. I was physically broken, and I was heartbroken. So, you
Mm,
know, anything that a person may go through at a life in their lifetime, I went through all of it at the same time.
yeah.
So, you know, this is like a big challenge, really. Like yeah, I was at the basement of rock bottom. I said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a time that was very challenging for me. I remember not feeling like I wanted to do anything, even to
Mm-hmm.
live, because I just couldn't see a path ahead of me, and I was so
Yeah.
heartbroken. And yeah, so that's what happened at that time. It was very challenging and very
Yeah.
serious.
Mm-hmm. What was the thing that kind of kept you going? Because I can't even imagine what you went through. It's like every single piece of your area of your life, every area of your life has just been like completely shattered. Was there something that happened to you while you were in that moment that helped you to move forward? Because you could have given up, right? You could have gone
Yeah,
you could have gone on a different path, but no, you decided to go on this path that you're on now. So what was it
yeah.
that clicked for you?
And I did went like I did go into the craziness of it for a little bit. I remember a woman walking into my hospital bed like telling me, "Oh, I received this message from spirit that you're gonna be a warrior of light and you're gonna help so many people and your life is gonna impact so many people and you're here to do big things." And I remember taking all my pillows and throwing them at her and say, "Get out of this room! What happened to my free will? I don't want any warrior of light. I don't want to serve anyone. I don't want
Mm,
anything. What happened to my free will? All I want is to be in South Africa, being with my guy and having my baby. I don't want to do anything else. I'm not anything of light. Like, get away from me." You know, so I went through that.
mm,
And you know, I do believe now that that woman was like receiving a message from spirit, like she was
mm-hmm.
channeling for me. And what she said at that point, but I just wasn't ready. I kicked her out with pillows. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
ah. I was through so much pain that I just couldn't understand. I was angry at God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And so I did go through that. And I think that when I went back to my house, you know, I was paralyzed in a bed. They have to move my room to the first floor of the house. And I had people, you know, tell people today that if you woke up today and you can wipe your own butt, you're having an amazing day. Because, you know, at that point I had people like literally changing my diapers, feeding me, giving me sponge baths because I couldn't move from the bed. And yeah, I was like a 37-year-old baby. I needed to be taken care of by all these people and feeding me, and having the food spill all over, and having like dirty diapers, but in a 37-year-old body, you know. So it was like, oh my God, it was very hard. And there was a moment where I felt really frustrated and sad, and I started to cry a lot. And at that moment, my daughter, my oldest daughter, Nicole, by the way, Nicole came to me and she found me crying, and she said, like, "Mommy, are you in pain?" And I just said, "No, I'm crying because I cannot see a path ahead of me. Like, there's no path." and I lost everything. You know, I have lost my unborn child, my fiance, my love, my life in South Africa, all my money, my body. You know, I was very proud of my body. I was doing like CrossFit, yoga, personal training, everything, and suddenly my body was gone. I was just broken in pieces. So I said, there's no path. I cannot see any path. And at that moment, I really think, Nicole, that the thing that helped me keep going is a story that I'm going to share with you guys. Is like, she looked at me and she said, "Mommy, do you know ants? Like, when we go to the forest and you take us to the forest, we see the ants, right?" And like, yeah. And then she said, "You know, ants communicate to each other to a hormone that they communicate, and that's how they keep going in the forest, and they're leaving this path for the others. But sometimes the leaves fall and then it covers the path. And at that moment, the ant cannot see any path. And the ant is like, well, I need to ask myself, do I go back like I failed, or do I start taking one leaf at a time, one leaf at the time? And then she said, because mommy, the path hasn't gone anywhere. The path is there. You just need to take one leaf at the time, and the path will continue to be there. And then she looked at me with so much authority, and she just said, so mommy, what kind of ant are you?
Wow.
And you know, that was like very powerful for me, and I think that it was like a turning point, because at that point I I just felt that I just needed to take one leaf at a time. So what I did, and something that I tell my clients that helped me to deal with all the pain and the different pains, is I separated like in baskets of pain, like in different containers. So I put the pain of losing the baby, the pain of losing my fiance, like the pain of losing my money, like the pain of my body broken, like the pain of my emotions. So I put like that. So I was dealing with one at a time. Because if I thought of all of them and I put them all together, then I would go crazy, or, you know, into a big depression, or antidepressants or whatever it is. So what I did is like, okay, these are all these different things, how I'm going to deal with each one of them at the time, one at the time. So I started for whatever, you know, the most important thing at that moment is like, well, my body, I cannot move my body, I'm paralyzed, I cannot move from here down. So I started using my arms to pull myself from the bed frame to force myself to sit, to move my body, and then from there to be strong enough in there that my spine could sit, and then to be strong enough to like kind of jump into a wheelchair. And yeah, that was a process. But and then I started meditating and moving a lot of energy, and that's how I started to to receive a lot of downloads from spirit and into how to heal and how to recover, and then sending messages to my body to recover at that time. And that's how that's how I did it at the moment.
Yeah, and so now you're super dedicated to helping people, because obviously you've literally gone through all areas, you know, like having broken and then rebuilding this together. So what is the work that you do now with your clients around rewiring their brains and transforming their life?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of things, like I do different things, and through my life I have received a lot of training and mentoring and coaches, and in the informal world and in the formal world, like, you know, I have like 7 careers and 4 master's degree. Like I did all the educational thing, and but then I went very deep into, you know, into shamans and plant medicine and mentors and energy healers and all these parts. So I kind of have taken all of it together, and now, yeah, I just put like all of it. I work a lot with the brain and rewiring belief, rewiring your brain, and creating that like rewiring of the neuroconnections matrix of the brain, which is the smallest structure of energy that are connecting to each other and sending messages. Because then those units of energy that are in there, they're either working in alignment and flow, or they're stuck and blocking the flow of energy. So those connections, whatever is the meaning that you have stuck in there, they're creating your life experience, because they're the ones producing your thoughts, and your thoughts are creating your emotions, and your emotions are creating what are you thinking and what are you doing, and eventually what decisions are you making and what life are you living. So to me, I go to the smaller material structure that is the neuropaths, to how we can recode and create new neuropaths in another parts of the brain that are not associated to survival and that are not associated to the reptilian brain, so that the body can move from survival, which puts you into fight or flight, and it can take you into creation, expansion, mystical experience, connection to spirit, to God, you know, deep superflow, and creation of deep superflow. So yeah, so I help people a lot with that. I also host like plant medicine ceremonies for people, and there's a big breakthroughs through that too. And yeah, and I do a lot of energy work with people too. I coach people all over the world, and I teach programs online, many different programs. And I'm just determined to help people because I know pain, I know desperation. Like, I just want people to know that whatever they are right now, there is the possibility to another reality. It doesn't matter what it is. Because like to me, I was like broken, no money, lost a child, lost my fiance, lost the money, lost the body, lost everything. Even my kids, her father took them away from me and brought them to Boston. So, you know, it's like I had nothing. I was, my cup was totally emptied, and I was deeply in debt. And I went from there to, you know, to created almost $500,000 last year. And you know, by working just 1 or 2 hours and having fun. And then, you know, I met the love of my life. I just married him like 3 weeks ago, and I'm just living an amazing life. So I am really committed to take people into four, I call it the big four things in the life. That's like my life mission, which is magic, bliss, beauty, and play. You know, like seeing the magic again in life, learning to have your life in bliss, in having total bliss, and doing that through renouncing to sacrifice and suffering, and then being able to transform that to play, so you can see all the beauty around. And then you go again. And when you see all the beauty around, you start seeing all the magic around. And when you start seeing all the magic around, your life becomes so full of bliss. So, you know, it keeps going. And yeah, and that's like basically what my intention is with the people that I get to share around my life these days.
Amazing. And do you have some sort of thing that you're working on now, or is there, how can people reach out to you? So I know I've got your social media links, and I'll pop them with this video and with this audio, but how can people work with you? Do you have one-on-one spaces, or do you have a program that's going on right now? Tell us more about the work that you do.
Yeah, well, I have programs like starting all the time. I have recorded programs that are already done, or I have like spaces where I'm holding groups live, but in a group setting. And I also have like one-on-one. And I just do people that work with me 6 times or 12 months, because I believe in the power of you know, creating a structure for people to really move through that time and see a change through the time. Because I know it requires like time and being in there and going. So yeah, that's when it comes to one-on-one mentoring and coaching. And I do have people all over the world, and we find a way to work together with the schedules and all that. And I also have like programs coming, and launching one with my love right now that is called Horoborus. Horoborus amor. Amor is the word for love in Spanish. And it's Horoborus because it's like, you know, the Horoborus symbol is a symbol that is always a circle that it's eating itself. Like it's like always renewal, always coming, always like going is the process. Yeah, we're doing that program right now that is to call in and keeping your soulmate, your you know, the love of your life. And it's basically all the things that got me to be married to my love. And we're doing, I created a program that is very special for me that is called the Quantum Integration Method. And I'm also the creator of the Quantum Integration International Society, which has like certification programs that work with like coaching people and certifying people to coach other people and work with other people. And yeah, and the quantum integration method basically is every single thing that I have learned in my life put together, and it goes into neurosemantics, neurolinguistics, neuroscience, bioenergetics, epigenetics, psychology of self-actualization. Like it just have different things that comes together into a whole program, so you don't have to be going here and there. I just take everything that works and put the concentrate and the focus so people can get like change in a quick way. Yeah.
Love that. Oh, that sounds amazing. So cool. Well, what I'll do is I'll pop all of your details in this video audio as well, so that if anyone wants to go in and work with Yerlin, she's such an amazing woman. As you guys have heard, her journey, her story is just incredible. And I could just see the impact that you're creating and the work that you're doing now with your partner, which is amazing. So, so awesome.
It doesn't matter where you are right now or what are you going through, that there is light at the end of that tunnel, and it doesn't even have to be a tunnel anymore. Like the paradigm of suffering and sacrificing in order to grow and expand is like totally outdated. We can really grow and expand from magic and bliss and beauty and play and have that. And that's what I want people to know. And thank you so much for having me here and just for this opportunity. I love you and I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Beauty. Thank you so much for everyone that is tuned in. What an amazing woman. Again, so excited to see what she brings to this world even more. And she's created just so much. It's so epic. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe or like. Please share this conversation with someone who will benefit from this. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Ciao.